Hello, my dear students. Today, I want to share a very personal story with you. It's about my struggle to learn English. I hope my story inspires you and shows you that learning a new language is possible, no matter how hard it may seem in the beginning. Let me start by introducing myself. My name is Joseph, and I come from a small town where English was not a common language. When I was growing up, English was like a mystery to me. I would hear people speaking it in movies or on TV, and I thought, wow, it sounds so cool, but I will never be able to speak it. The motivation to learn English came from a dream. I always wanted to travel to other countries, meet new people, and maybe even work in a place where English was necessary. But there was a problem. I didn't know even the basics. I couldn't introduce myself, and I didn't understand most of the words. At the beginning, everything about English felt so confusing. The words sounded so different from my native language. For example, when I heard words like through or enough, I had no idea how to pronounce them. And let's not even talk about grammar. Words like past perfect or present continuous made my head spin. One of my biggest challenges was speaking. I was afraid to speak in front of others because I thought I would make mistakes and people would laugh at me. I remember one time in school when my teacher asked me to read a sentence in English. I froze. My hands were shaking and my face turned red. After that, I avoided speaking English as much as I could. But deep inside, I knew that learning English was important for my future. It wasn't just about traveling or working abroad. I wanted to connect with the world. English is a global language, and I realized that knowing it would open so many doors for me. I wanted to be able to watch movies without subtitles, talk to people from different countries, and most importantly, feel confident in myself. This is how my journey began. It was a slow and sometimes painful process, but it taught me so much about patience and determination. And now, here I am, sharing my story with all of you. I hope you can learn something from my experience and know that it's okay to struggle at first. Everyone starts somewhere, and that's perfectly fine. The beginning of the journey. Now, let me take you back to the very beginning of my journey to learn English. After I decided that I wanted to learn this language, I had no idea where to start. It felt like standing at the bottom of a very tall mountain, looking up and wondering how I would ever reach the top. But I knew I had to take the first step. At first, I started with the most basic things. I bought an old English grammar book from a local bookstore. It had lists of words, small sentences, and grammar exercises. I remember flipping through the pages, trying to understand the rules. It was hard because everything felt so new. Words like am, is, and are seemed so small, yet their usage confused me a lot. I also tried watching English TV shows and movies. This was supposed to be fun, but in the beginning, it was frustrating. The actors spoke so fast that I couldn't catch a single word. But I didn't give up. I started watching the same shows with subtitles, first in my own language, then in English. I paused scenes, repeated the dialogues, and slowly began to recognize familiar words. One day, I understood an entire scene without looking at the subtitles, and I felt so proud. I also practiced speaking even if it felt awkward. I would talk to myself in English while walking or standing in front of a mirror. Sometimes I'd record my voice and listen to how I sounded. It was strange at first, but I noticed improvement over time. Then came the turning point. I joined an English-speaking club in my town. I was nervous, but I knew I had to face my fear of speaking in front of others. The first few meetings were terrifying. My voice would shake, and my sentences were full of mistakes. But no one laughed. In fact, everyone was kind and encouraging. That support meant everything to me. With practice, I grew more confident. I read English books, wrote short essays, listened to English podcasts, and even made some international friends online. Slowly but surely, English became a part of my daily life. One day, I had a conversation with a tourist visiting my town. We spoke entirely in English. It wasn't perfect, but we understood each other. That moment felt like magic. It was the proof that all my hard work had paid off. What I learned. Learning English didn't just teach me a language. It taught me resilience, self-discipline, and the power of small steps. I learned that it's okay to make mistakes. That's how we grow. I learned that effort matters more than talent. Most importantly, I learned that I'm capable of more than I thought. Now, I'm not just someone who wanted to speak English. I do speak English. And if I could go from knowing almost nothing to having full conversations, then so can you. A message to you. To all of you sitting there feeling nervous about English, don't worry. We've all been there. Every fluent speaker you know was once a beginner too. What matters is not how fast you learn, but that you keep going. Take your time, don't be afraid of mistakes, and celebrate every small win. One day, you'll look back and realize just how far you've come. Just like I did. The language that once scared me changed my life. Now it's your turn.